Well, welcome to It's a Sure Thing with your host, Diane Murray-Clements, the insurance podcast that takes the events of the day and examines the liability behind the headlines. And now, here's your host, Diane Murray-Clements.
Good morning, Lacole. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so glad that you could join me this morning. I wanted to talk to you about your business. Wanted people to know about your business, who you are, and what you do. I know we've worked together many times, and you worked together with my mom as well, which is something I want to talk about also, because that was just such a loving time. And I appreciate everything that you have done to me. And I think actually that made us even closer as friends, even though we don't talk every day on a regular basis. But I think that did it, especially with your baby, Chloe.
Absolutely. Chloe and your mom had a special relationship.
So, Fitness Compulsion, your business, how did it get started? How did you get into fitness?
Okay. And you know what? I'm so glad you asked me that story, because I went to college for fashion design. And after being married, having 3 children, working in the fashion industry, our company had an office in New York, an office in Hong Kong. We traveled a lot back and forth. And I just found myself very unhealthy and overweight. I was 215 pounds and I'm only 5'3". And so that's a lot of weight on such a small frame. And I just realized, if I wanted to be productive just in life as a parent, as an employee, I had to make some life changes. But, originally, fitness and working out wasn't the life change I thought that I had to make. I actually was going to get surgery. I was going to get a tummy tuck. I was going to get a breast reduction, lift, and, I went to a very good doctor who told me your body fat is too high. I was close to 50% body fat. I was probably around the 48, 49 percentage wise. And he was like, you need to lose at least 50 pounds, probably around 65. And my daughter was about maybe 9 months at the time. He wanted me to wait another year, because they say it takes a little over a year for your uterus to go all the way down. So I'm like, I have to lose all this weight and then wait this time. I'm like, in that amount of time, I can do it on my own. So, what I really did is that I felt I was relatively healthy in high school. And I think for our generation, it's a little different now, but for our generation, we were healthy in high school, right? We didn't really start gaining weight till after having children and things of that nature. So I knew I could feel the difference between what healthy was and what unhealthy was, being at a healthy body fat and an unhealthy body fat. So I just kind of wanted to go back to my roots as to kind of the foods that I was raised on. And then I took it a step further and started just researching herbs and supplementation and how your body really reacts to food. And then at the same time, just looking at exercise, but I studied anatomy and how the human movement and how our muscles are attached to each other. And I came up with my own style of training and a meal program for myself. And I lost 65 pounds in 6 weeks.
What?
Yes, 65
6 weeks. Now, Lacole, that is unhealthy. You know what? I think that's why you go so hard. But I think that's pretty unhealthy so fast. Wow. What did you do besides the exercise? Was it what you were eating as well?
It was what I was eating. And this is the thing a lot of people say, but that's not just it. I lost 100 pounds in 4 months. I started my journey May 28th. By November 4th, I was unstaged competing in my first figure competition at 8% body fat. And remember, I went from close to 50% body fat. Now, and this is what I tell people. I wasn't trying to do that. I wasn't trying to lose 65 pounds in 6 weeks, 100 pounds in 4 months. I was trying to be healthier. So the weight just kind of, when I made these changes to my diet and accompanied with the exercising, it just caused the weight to fall off. I shaped my body So I was still able to be curvy, and be fit and thin at the same time. So I have had that question, like, oh my gosh, was that healthy? But it was a lot. It outweighed the benefit of maintaining that weight of 215 pounds. But again, like when I say, by making the changes that I made, literally the weight fell off. And I've had clients that do the same. And that's really the difference with my program. I do have a website. It took me forever to even get business cards because I didn't need them, because it was word of mouth. I would work with someone for a couple of weeks. They'd lose about 20 pounds. And that would be my advertisement. And then the word of mouth would transpire from there. I'm not like so someone who, I'm trying to remember the chain of events, but even in how we met, it was through a client that the results really speak for itself.
Yes. I must say, when you stick to it in the exercise, and with me, it was just the exercise, because I was like, I'm not giving up my fried pork chops. I'm not giving up fried chicken. I'm not stopping to eat a burger. Yes, I'm going to McDonald's and I eat French fries. And you were like, you can't do that. I was like, yes, I am. And I'm still going to eat this way, and I'm going to exercise. So for me, it did fall off, but it fell off much slower. But I think because I didn't change the way I ate when I stopped exercising, of course, you gain it right back, because, you aren't in the routine of, it's what you take in that's really doing it.
Your diet is extremely important. And for clients like you who don't want to change your diet, I have to train you exceptionally hard. Like, I have to train you really hard so that we can try to out-train what you're eating. Now, the downside to that is, when our sessions are over, the program is over, then if you haven't changed your eating, you're right.
Back.
You can't easily back.
Why
but
coming back again?
I do teach you how to eat, so that there's not necessarily a dependency, but some clients are like, you're going to always be in my life. I'm going to always be there, which, I'm thankful for those clients. But my goal is to really teach people how to do this and achieve it. So like, you and I have known each other for how long? It's probably been close to 10 years.
How old is Chloe?
Chloe's just turned 13.
I don't think she was in school when I met you.
No, so she
was in preschool.
So maybe she was 2 or 3.
Yeah, she was like 2 or 3 when I met you.
So, and I have improved since I've started training. So I've been in the industry roughly since Chloe was about a year when I started taking on clients. So it's been about 12 years that I've been in the industry, and I have my weight back. And I feel like my body has gotten better through time. When I first lost all of the weight, and I went from 215 to 110, I was really thin. I felt like, it was healthy for me, but I was really thin. But in that time, I've been able to train and build up muscle, build my hips up, so I went from a 0 to I'm a 2.4 now, but my body fat has stayed consistent. My body fat is thing. I've gone up in weight in the scale. That's kind of a different conversation, because
and that's what I was going to ask you about. That should women be so concerned with the number on the scale, or more concerned with the body fat, the fat around their waistline, around their neck and face and stuff like that? What should they be looking at? Because some of us get obsessed with the number.
And so that's a great question. It's a 2-part question. The most important thing is your body fat percentage, by far. That is the most important thing. So for myself, I'm okay with telling my weight. Right now, I'm somewhere in the 130s. I'm like between 130 and 133. That's healthy for me. Now, because my body fat is around 17, 18%. There was a time where if I weighed this, my body fat would have been around 31%. That's not healthy. So it's about your particular numbers. The most important number is your body fat. And you really want your body fat to be around 24% or lower. This is vital, especially with what's going on with COVID. I just did a seminar not that long ago in regards to pre-existing conditions. And why is it that it's impacting people of color so much in terms of death, the death rate with COVID? And the higher the percentage your body fat, the more likely you are to die from COVID.
Wow.
And like, it's real when you get into the numbers. So 30% is considered obese. Anything over that 30% is considered morbidly obese, or what they're now calling it severe obesity.
Wow.
Even without any other pre-existing conditions like hypertension, diabetes, and things of that nature, having your body fat over a certain percentage is a pre-existing condition all in itself. So you want to really monitor your body fat. And how do you do that? How do you monitor your body fat? A scale. They have great scales right now. There's great technology out there that have apps that you can download to your phone, and it tells you literally what your body fat is, your water weight, because sometimes you gain weight, it's not fat.
Okay.
It's water weight that you're gaining, and then you may need to make some adjustments that way. There's other things like you could be holding like inflammation and mucus. I feel like that's a seminar all in itself as to what that looks like and how to get rid of it. But the scale doesn't go that depth into necessarily the inflammation and mucus that you may be holding, but it does go into what your body fat is, your bone, and water weight, bone, and body fat, which is key to know.
So how do you encourage somebody like myself, because I'm sure you have many people like me, to exercise or to jumpstart, to get it started? Do you suggest that they start with a detox for a couple of days and then start working out? Do they do gradual walking every day? Should they work out every day? Like, what should we be doing?
Okay. And for me, I'm glad that you asked. For one, I think community is important. And if you can have someone or a group that you can partner with is amazing. I'm holding a fitness class. I have a couple slots available. We train virtually because of the pandemic. But I've been training virtually for the past 10 years with clients. I've had clients all over the world. So when the pandemic happened and the shutdown happened, it wasn't new to me to train people virtually, because I've had clients in like Washington, Atlanta, and even as far as Milan, that we would train via Skype. And I've been doing that for the past 10 years. But when the pandemic hit, I launched solely virtual classes. And it's great because we have women from all over the country now, and they're women and men, but it's a predominantly female-driven industry with the fitness industry. And you're able to commune with people, and you're able to get, what my workouts are like. You're able to get a great workout. So if you don't know where to go or just how to start with working out at home, this class would be really great for you. And then I'm also developing an app which will come out in a couple of months to where you can work solely on your own schedule and time frame. Okay. But in general, for how to jumpstart, I would give it in like 2 phases. There's like an all-in phase where you're working out and detoxing. You can work out for at least 30 minutes a day. Honestly, I say to work out for 45 to an hour, around 6 days a week.
So when is the best time to work out? In the mornings or in the evenings? I know before the pandemic hit, I did join a gym, Lacole, because remember I was telling you, I was like, girl, I want an elliptical machine. I'll work, and I was steadily going like 3 or 4 times, probably almost 5 times a week to the gym. And then the pandemic hit, and then I didn't go back to the gym. So from like March to now, I haven't been working out the way I was then. And I was doing that at night. That was my point. So I was working out at night at like 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, because there wasn't a lot of people in the gym. But for whatever reason, the momentum for me was really going at that time, because I guess I'm more of a night person. When's the best time to work out, morning or evening?
The best time to work out is whenever you can fit it in, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to say it's best to work out in the morning and you have to start your day at 5 a.m. And you're already getting up at 4, and there's no way you can get up any earlier, so you're just not going to work out. Or vice versa, the best time to work out is in the evening and you work till 10 o'clock at night. But this is what I'm going to tell you about the benefits to both. If you do work out in the morning, work out before you eat.
Okay.
That way you're burning more calories. You're working out on an empty stomach. We would do in the fitness industry, we do our cardio first thing in the morning. It's called fasted cardio. You burn more. the benefits to working out in the evening is you should work like after your last meal. If you can maybe wait about, let your food settle like a half hour after your last meal, then you're kind of burning the calories and the sugar that you've consumed throughout the day. I would say that if you're going to do weight training, and you're going to use weights and you want to build muscle, training and doing weights in the evening after you've eaten all your food is really beneficial to building muscle. Doing cardio in the morning before you eat is very beneficial to burning fat.
Okay.
Okay. So again, it's looking at, and this is what I do with my clients. Everything's really customized, but it's looking at what realistically can I do? What can I commit to? And then once you find what you can commit to, building a workout routine that's going to be the most beneficial to you with the time of day that you can do things.
So you said your fitness industry is usually targeted towards the women. What do you suggest for men? Because it always seems that men drop weight a lot faster than the women do, even though they be heavier than the start when women start at the same time as them. What do you suggest for them?
Well, I do what I mean by that is just that, it's a women-driven industry. Women, we know we need to work out. Even when it comes to us keeping our doctor's appointments, we set our husband's doctor's appointments, things of that nature. So just in terms of being healthy and things of that nature, it's kind of like women-led or driven. In terms of for men, it's the same thing. The only thing that's not fair is they have a tendency to lose weight. It seems like twice as fast as we do. And that just has to do with different things with hormones and genetics. Our bodies are designed to hold onto more body fat. We have to carry children and things of that nature. Their bodies are not designed that way. So they can make one little change and drop weight relatively quickly. But it's the same as far as the workout is concerned, or what their goals are. Faster cardio, you're going to burn more calories when you do faster cardio. You may have more men that want to gain weight than women. So it would be beneficial for them to do weight training in the evening after they've eaten their meals for the day. And then they can go in and lift heavier weights and things of that nature. And that'll help them to build muscle.
Gotcha. So when a person is looking to work out, some people say, and you talked about this earlier about working out and having a community to fall back on. How important is it to work out with a fitness trainer? Because, I need an accountability partner and you are that person. It's funny because even though we've been doing it on Zoom recently, before we were in person, so I couldn't cheat with the time, with the numbers and say, oh, we on 25 when we're really on 12 or something like that on the count. But it's funny because even now with Zoom, I don't cheat, even though I could cheat on the numbers and I'm really going at it. How should a person look for a fitness trainer? What questions should they ask? How do you match yourself up with the right person?
And I would say too, I think referrals are extremely important. For one, that's how I built my business. If they can show you before and after photos, you have to remember that a trainer, you can have a great trainer, but if the client isn't willing to listen,
not conforming,
right? But that could affect the before and afters. But usually, when people are to the point to where they're going to hire a trainer, they're mentally prepared to do what they're told. So I would ask for some before and after photos. I would ask them for a kind of a guideline as to what their business motto is. And certifications are important, but even more so than the certification, once you find that they have that, is just really looking into what it is they can offer you as far as planning. Maybe most trainers don't deal that much with nutrition.
Okay.
I'm certified in nutrition as well. And so are you just looking for someone that we're going to meet and we're just going to train, and then I don't see you and hear from you again until we train again? But with my clients, I'm a little bit more personable, where I've always been emailing, texting in between, writing out meal plans, I would go through with each client and detox you first, and then we slowly integrate foods back into your body, and I would have you kind of note as to how you react to it. Like when you detox, with my clients, we would detox with juice. And so that's no dairy, it's no meat for a while. And then the first thing you would bring in would be your fruits and vegetables. And how would your body react to that? Then you'd bring in like fish, light poultry. How is your body reacting? Are you bloated? Is your skin breaking out? Then you'd bring in milk and dairy. And usually when we have that milk and dairy is when I'd have problems with people where they like, I feel bloated. I'm noticing, because dairy causes mucus in your body, and that's kind of what can make you feel or an inflammation. So then that kind of weighs you down. You feel sluggish. It affects your digestion. And so once you've detoxed and you know what it feels like to kind of like have a clean system, right, when you put things back in your system that dirty it up and muck it up, then you can feel it and you kind of want to stay away from those foods. So just with finding a trainer, I would try to see if you can find someone who you could get a referral from. And then if you may be in a new area where you don't know anyone, then kind of try to see what their before and after photos are, and try to get a clear and decisive plan as to what it is they'll be taking you through, and just find out if nutritional planning is included in that.
So when you talked about detoxing, there are always these different products on the market that talk about you could detox with a tea, or you could detox with this, and and then they have these other things that come in those purple and orange bottles that I'm not going to mention their names, but So there's a detox for everybody, and all of these fad diets and stuff like that. What is in your detox that makes it so healthy? Because do you use just organic stuff? Like, what is it? Because all of these other products have stuff in it to preserve it, for the shelf life.
Right. And that's with my detox. They're juices and there's no preservative. It's just all natural fruits and vegetables. So basically it's like, it's extremely healthy for you. If you have any allergies, I give my clients a consultation in case they have any allergies with any fruits or vegetables. But basically that's what it is. And it's just designed in a way that's going to cleanse your liver, colon, kidneys, and help to get the inflammation out of your body. To me, that's an important starting point, because what happens, and the reason why my clients lose so much weight so quickly, is that your kidney and liver can be overworking. So you can't really burn fat or metabolize fat because your body's busy trying to get rid of these toxins. So if you can cleanse the toxins and your body can go back to its natural state and actually be able to metabolize fat, and you get your results faster. Literally, if you do, my clients that would do a 2-week detox would take 6 weeks or more off of their training. So, that's how, yes. So
okay, question, because you remember you made all these detoxes for me. Do they taste better this time? Because me and the taste, I was just like, oh, but I did learn a trick that you did tell me. Add apple to it, because a little apple makes it a little sweeter, so it takes away some of the bitterness and stuff like that.
Right. And for me, when I started doing these juices, I had never tasted a beet before. I didn't like beets at the time. Okay. But I did it for one day, and I was like, okay, that was cute. I'm never doing this again. But I woke up and my waist was an inch smaller in one day. And I was like, okay, I think I can stick to it. And I lost 15 pounds in that week.
Okay.
And I never put it back on. So what I can say is some of the things may be an acquired taste. They are, I feel, better than the last time that you did them. I have the citrus ones, which are really designed to burn fat. And then the ones that are more red, which are really designed to detox you. So like I said, the taste can be, I feel like, to me, they taste fine. To everyone, they're a little different. It's more about the goal, but you are literally drinking your fruits and vegetables. But what I find is it changes your palate. Like once you do the detox,
it does. It cleanses it. It does.
It cleanses you. In the beginning, day 1, you may not like the taste. By day 3, the taste doesn't bother you. And then when you're finished with the detox, when you eat a strawberry, that tastes sweet to you. You can't go to like a cake with icing. It's just like
too much.
It's way too much. So it cleanses your palate and it brings it back to its natural states, to where you can go to eating strawberries and blueberries for dessert, and you don't feel like you're missing anything by not having that.
Right. And that is the thing that I did like about the detoxes when I did do it, not consistently, but I did it. I lost the taste for the urge for sugar. And that was a big deal for me, because I didn't feel like I had to have a piece of candy, or I had to have some cake or a cupcake or something like that. So the sugar urge was kind of gone. So that I did like about the detox. Do you think it's possible, because I'm sure you get this, because I'm always going to use myself as an example, to just do target weight loss? Like, I just want to lose the weight in my belly, but I want to keep my boobs. I like the size of my booty, but I need a little in my calves. Like, is that realistic?
I mean, okay, for you, we've done that before. And there are some ways that you can target train, but you need an experienced person to do it with you. Is what I can say. Is it possible? Yes. Are there things you could do? I was actually honestly just talking to my niece about this. So one thing I can tell you in terms of target training, because she wants to lose weight. But nowadays everybody wants hip size and butt.
That's right.
So she wants to lose weight, and she's like, she's going to start running on the treadmill, and that's a great way. I actually suggested for her to jump rope. Jumping rope is amazing cardio. I had in my class, I had the members of my class get this specific jump rope. It's called cross rope, but it's weighted jump rope. It goes according to your height. Because I'm short, and I would have to always roll up the weight. So it goes according to your height. There's small, medium, large, extra large. They have and they have different weights. They have a 2 pound, 1 pound, and then just a regular jump rope weight. And again, it goes according to your height, but it's amazing cardio. A half-hour jumping rope, and all you have to do is store the jump rope. Right now I'm liking it better than the treadmill. There's different phases.
Oh, wow. I like that.
But as of right now, a half hour of consistently jumping rope. So what that means is just don't take a break. Like, you may skip, you may miss a skip or miss a jump, but just keep going. Don't sit down for 5 minutes. Do it consecutively for a half an hour. And that's cardio. But if you're doing cardio, you're going to lose weight everywhere. Right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So what I told her is, when it comes to the weight, since you want to be bottom heavy, bottom heavier, do heavy weights on your lower body when it comes to the thighs, your glutes, and things like that. And then we went over specific exercises that target your hips, your glutes. Your glutes are broken up into 3 different muscle groups. You have to train them each separately. It's your gluteus medius, maximus, and minimus.
So is that the reason why you see some women and they have a flat booty and some parts of it is peaked out?
Yeah, because they're training one part. They're probably training one part and not the other. But if you want that nice little P shape, you have to train each part separately. And in developing my app, we're going to go into that in depth, to where you can select the glutes, and not every exercise is for the same glute muscle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never knew that. So now I know, even when I work out on my own and they say, oh, you just do the buttocks exercises, that they're not all doing, they may be all just targeting one part and just not everywhere that you need it to go.
Right.
I got
really
you.
Build up. It's a misconception as to just do squats. Squats really target your thighs.
Really?
More than your glutes. Yeah, and it depends. It all depends on your foot placement, but just a normal squat is going to target your thighs, your hamstrings predominantly. Even more so than your glutes. It's more like a secondary muscle group.
Okay.
But join my class. It starts on Monday. You can email me or send me a DM, and we can kind of I can give you the information. But it's very it's very scientific as to how to kind of, when you want to shape your body in a certain way, but it can be done. When I compete for figure competitions, what they look at is how your body is shaped. They look for symmetry. They look for your glutes and hamstrings to be a certain way, muscle separation. So can you target exercise? Yes. Will everything be just as you imagine? Maybe not. You when it comes to your breast tissue, you may lose, but if you train your back properly,
Mhm.
Your back is small. If your chest goes down a little bit, it's not that big of a deal because you've lost so much off your back. It looks the same, if not larger.
So that's a good point, and you brought up. And I was just seeing on Instagram, somebody just competed in, I forget what state it was, in a fitness competition. And I know you've done them before, and you've won trophies and all that kind of stuff. So my goal is, before I hit, the age that I'm going to hit, and nobody needs to know that because that's none of their business. I want to compete in a fitness competition. How do I get this to be ready, camera ready for that? What does it look like for a training session? Is that an everyday training? Like, what would you do? How would you start somebody with that had that particular goal?
Okay, so that goes from trainer to coach.
Okay.
So your trainer can be your coach, but it's you need more than just a trainer. Then I would become your coach, and that's something that can be done. You're training 6 days a week. You would need your first show. You would need a 4 to 5 month prep session. Okay. That means you have to plan a show 4 to 5 months out that you're going to be doing consecutive training and consecutive nutrition.
So
the nutrition is extremely important. You cannot cheat like you
no
can't.
McDonald's, no Wendy's.
No. You won't be able to have McDonald's for at least for like 5 months. You may have to go even when it comes to sweets, depending on how your body responds, you would have to prepare not to have any sweets for maybe 5 months. There's a period of time where you can't even have fruit. So 3 months out from the show, you can't have fruit. 2.5 months out, or even more so than that, no juice, a gallon of water every day. And then you're training what we call isolated muscle groups. And you would do about an hour of cardio, your fasted cardio that I talked about. You do fasted cardio, and then you do about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes of weight training. And this is 6 days a week. That's pretty kind of to sum it up, how you prep for a show.
Okay, anywho. Maybe we'll just train me for bikini ready for the summer once COVID is over. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know if my mind is ready for that right now. So you talked about you have a class session that's coming up, a group class session. Tell me a little bit about that. What should people expect? Is it open for both women and for men?
Yep, it's open for both men and women. It's at 7:30 in the morning. We train Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And for those, if you happen to miss a day, I record it. So if you miss a day, I email it to you, and you can do it when you have time or when you see fit. But it's amazing. I have a specific style of training, and it's the class is for the duration of the month. And by the end of the month, I'll give nutritional guidance. By the end of the month, you'll definitely see a difference. Like your body tightens, tones. We use our own body weight resistant bands, and about 5-pound weights, and the men can use like 8 to 10-pound weights. To be honest with you, like for the movements that we do, it may not seem like 10 pounds is heavy, but for how we train, 10 pounds can be a bit much. So I suggest you don't go over the 8 pounds, but we train multiple muscle groups at one time. And I bring your muscles to failure, or what I do what's called fatiguing them. Okay. And by bringing them to failure or having the muscle become fatigued, when it recovers, it's stronger than it was before. Okay. And if it's stronger than it was before, then you get your results faster. To pretty much sum it up, that's kind of like the philosophy by my training, and why, why the training is so difficult. There is a method to my madness, but my program is designed for people who want results quickly but safely. And it's not a lot of high impact. Like, we're not going to be, jumping over a lot of things. It's not very hard on your knees, but it's a really good workout.
So how long is the workout for? So you say it starts at 7:30. How long do you do it for? 45 minutes, an hour? Or?
Yeah, they're between 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what it is we're doing that day.
Okay. And how often is the session that you're offering?
3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
For a month?
For a month, yeah.
For a month? Okay, great. So they can find you, and I put your information in the feed at fitnesscompulsion@gmail.com, or at fitnesscompulsion.com or on IG at Lacole B. So they'll be able to find you. So there's still a couple of slots ready, open. And you're starting on what day? Monday?
Monday at 7:30 a.m. I will send out your Zoom link, Diane. You are already paid full, so your spot is.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm always ready. My husband probably thinks I should be ready all the time, but I'm not always in ready.
The husband too.
He should join too. He should. He, you know what, Lacole, he should join so this way he can understand the pain that I feel when I work out all the time and why it's so stressful to me. You know, I don't think it's the losing the weight. I think it's the motivation to get you started. And once you get into it, after day one, usually day one, you're like, yeah, I'm good. So when you have a break and you're not doing it, there you can feel the difference. Because I know when you had that break, the December off, you know, I was like, I thought you said December. I thought we was doing December. I thought this. I was like,
so many emails and texts, and people were offended. They thought that I started the class without them. The whole world, I did take the month of December off. I apologize for that. But
how dare you?
I know, right? But I'm back January 4th.
Okay, so Lacole, there are other things that you have done with your training. Tell me about some of the retreats in the past that you have done, where you have been, and your experiences from them.
Oh, well, I have 2 retreats. I have the luxury retreat and the hardcore retreat. So I'll start out with the hardcore retreat. You know, I kind of like tell you the worst one. The hardcore retreats are you're isolated. So it's a group of people. I rent out a villa. You detox for the weekend. They're 3 to 4 days. We train 4 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day, and you rest. Now, and it may seem like, oh my gosh, you're detoxing. My detox, yes, is juice. So for those 4 days or 3 days, you're not eating solid food and you're working out 3 to 4 times a day. But most people come out of it extremely rejuvenated. Why is that? One, it's the group of people that are selected. So I go through, not just anyone can join, you know, I go through and I just, usually it's referral based primarily. It's how it works, but it's a group of people that have one goal, and that goal is to kind of focus on their health. It's not necessarily to lose weight, but just kind of focus on your health. The average inches lost in those 3 to 4 days is 27 inches, not combined, per person. And I've had people lose, you know, the average weight loss is around 9 pounds, but I've had people up to 15. I've had some people lose 5, but they lose the inches that, you know, that need to be lost. But it's just a great time to commune and actually rest in between each workout, because again, I specialize in fatiguing your muscles and having your muscles fatigued 3 to 4 times a day. You sleep a lot and your muscles recover during that time of sleeping, and sleeping actually helps to stress yourself and to decrease stress as well. So when you leave, you're lighter. You feel lighter because you've detoxed. You feel like you've achieved an amazing goal because you leave like around 2 dress sizes or pant sizes smaller than what you came, and you actually do feel rested. It's a beautiful time. So those are what I call the hardcore retreats.
Okay, so before you start on a great one, there's a question in the feed, and they want to know, if they can't make the 7:30 class, is there another time or another opportunity for them to be able to participate? Because this particular person works the 7 to 3 or 11 to 3
okay
hours.
If I can get enough people, I will do another class, because I had someone else say the same thing. So if they know anyone else that they can kind of get a couple of people, and I'll add with that, I will do a class. What time do they get off? 3?
They didn't say what time.
Okay.
I'm looking at Rochelle. Rochelle, just put in the feed what time is a better time. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then so tell her that to contact me to my email, Fitness Compulsion. Yeah, to email, and we'll see if she can kind of get a small group together, and then I can add that group. I will do something according to their time for a second.
Okay, I'm putting in the your email in the feed right now, so they have it. So tell me about this luxury
Okay.
Fitness
The
retreat.
luxury retreats make me smile, but it's so funny because I had like some clients say, you know, you better give them a disclaimer before you go on the luxury retreat. We want to already be in shape, not. But
So,
we go to exotic locations like Croatia. We were actually scheduled for one in Thailand in March, but we couldn't go due to the pandemic. But so we go to an exotic location. We do a workout in the morning, but our other workouts are adventures where we kind of explore, you know, the natural scenery. So I do an annual retreat in Croatia. And like last time we chartered a yacht and we went to the different islands near Split, and we would hike up. We would hike to the fortress, and then we went to Dubrovnik. In Dubrovnik, Game of Thrones was filmed in Dubrovnik. It is the most enchanting city I feel like in the world. It looks like something from, you know, a Disney movie, but they have a wall that surrounds the city. And so we did for one of our excursions, we walked around the wall, stopped to take pictures, and then we had lunch in the city. So they have beautiful waterfalls. So we will take excursions that actually double as workouts. It's always a great, when I say it's a great group, and it's excellent networking as well. But we have a great group of people all the time. Like I said, usually the people are handpicked by myself. I try to keep it small. I try to keep it to around 7 or 8. Once we get to 12 or 15, I'll split it up for 2 weeks. Like I'll have 7 for 1 week and 7 for another week. But the other great thing is, you know, I've had clients who have been single, wanted to travel to a certain place, but because they were single or couldn't find someone to travel with them, they wouldn't go because of, you know, there's some safety concerns that you just may have traveling abroad by yourself. This eliminates that. Most people gain weight when they go on vacation. Most people gain around 10 pounds per vacation. Where you're on vacation and you lose weight, you're not juicing the whole time. Especially in Croatia, I would have them make fresh juices, but we hired a chef. And the cuisine will be conducive to what the local cuisine is so that you can experience the culture, but it's just done in a way where it's healthy. The one thing is we don't have heavy alcohol but we did last Croatia trip, we went wine tasting. Which was fun and amazing. But one thing we don't do is usually we don't have like heavy vodka or like alcohol. You know, drinks here, some drinks here and there, but we usually don't do that because there's like really no health benefits.
So it's funny that you
want to come in early and party, or you want to come in stay late and party. You can do, you know what I mean? You can do that, but I do try to keep it to where it is like holistic in terms of food. But then again, like I said, we're not so, you know, prudent to where you can't have any fun. Where we do usually, if we can do wine tasting, we'll do a day of wine tasting.
So it's funny that you mentioned that vodka. So I learned on WW, and I'm not going to say the weight loss plan, but people know who WW is, that vodka was 0 calories. So I would drink a lot of vodka. Is that true?
Yeah. Okay. It is 0 calories. And I do say to go with your white vodka, your white clear drinks versus your dark drinks or your sugary drinks. But let me explain to you about alcohol. Body cannot metabolize alcohol and fat. What does that mean? It means your body can't burn off alcohol and fat. So what is your body going to do? If you put alcohol in, which is basically poison, it's going to work overtime to get rid of it. That whatever you eat, your body's going to hold on to that fat, in layman's terms.
That's so depressing.
Right? So what I tell my clients is like, you want to go out, you got to choose. Are you going to eat heavy or are you going to drink alcohol? If you want to go out in New Year's Eve, anniversary, let's just say, you know, you realistically, you want to do something where you're going to drink, you enjoy it, have a good time. You're out with your, you know, your girls. This is what you want to do. Okay. Eat salad. I know, but I'm just saying, if you're eating, I'm going to have this burger and fries and pizza, or I'm going to have steak with the loaded mashed potatoes and bacon and cheese. And then I'm going to drink however much vodka you're going to drink. you're eating, your body's going to hold on to that as fat.
But see, the thing is with vodka,
That's the
you
difference
can't eat a. They don't tell you all of that, right?
Right.
The thing about it with vodka is you can't eat a salad with vodka because you need something heavy to hold that liquor down because you want it to stay in and not come out.
I know you got decisions.
It's like one or the other. Like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
If the purpose is to kind of get like a buzz, you get your buzz faster when you drink, when you eat light. I mean,
I guess so. So tell me, and you talked about these, and you know what, you did mention is networking. So for all of the business women out there, your CEOs, your executives, your women that are doing it have definitely been clients of yours, because I've met some, I've networked with people. It is actually a great networking experience. And when you say you really pick certain people, you really do. So I'm not even going to ask you the companies and the places that these people work, but let me tell you, they're up there.
Yeah. And I like I said, we're like-minded. It's like-minded women, and it's always a great group, and they've gotten to where they are for a reason, in their careers. And that's just kind of what causes, I guess, everyone to be so like-minded, because they're all at that same level career-wise. But then when we get together, it's like, it's like I said, it's a predominantly women-driven industry, and a lot of these retreats are mainly women. I want to do something with couples, so I'm waiting to get enough couples to do a nice luxury retreat with. But you come into this great like sisterhood, and the relationships and the bonds that are built. I see how they mature over the years, which is really great. And I've seen some great networking go on, just because people are just being introduced to people for the first time, or they may have come across paths, but this is just kind of a relaxed environment to where you can kind of just really get to know someone. And what one of my clients has started is, in the beginning, she comes to just about every retreat I do. Just about, if maybe she's missed 2 or 3, and because she was out of the country, but she will always want to kind of do like a roundhouse in the beginning as to who you are and how you met, how you came about coming here and met Lacole. And that kind of opens, the introduction is just great, because it just kind of opens up the floor, and it makes it very inviting. So I really like that she started that, tradition to do as a meet and greet in the beginning of the retreat, so we can kind of introduce ourselves, and then we're in a relaxed environment to where we can feed off of each other, get great business advice from each other.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciated that, because I met you through a friend, and then I met other women through you that I was able to do business with, that I'm still in contact with today, which is great, because as my show goes on and I continue to highlight more Black entrepreneurs and their businesses, you'll get to see some of those women as well that I've met along the way, that, we kind of interconnect and stuff like that. So tell me, what are your 2021 goals for your fitness business? And this is 2-part. And what did you do last year that you failed at, that you're going to do differently and you learned from this year?
Okay, let me start with the 2020, because 2020 was like the best of times, the worst of times. I mean, like literally, that's the only way that I can describe it. Business wise, it was really good for my company. Just in terms of with going virtual, and the fact that I've already had a virtual platform has brought new outlooks to my company, and people looking to kind of help me invest and expand, because they kind of saw that I wasn't just with the trend, I was ahead of the curve in terms of doing the virtual training. And so with that aspect, there was a lot of growth. What was hard, and we were speaking about this earlier, is, my best friend, who was literally like a brother to me, passed away, not from COVID, but from stage 4 cancer. And it was you know, and I don't know, there's certain things that I had to do to kind of be there for him that may have caused me not to kind of take care of myself the way that I wanted to. Maybe I had to go slower at the end of the year when it came to my business. We just had his funeral December 4th. And so in terms of, I don't know if I would call it a fail, but just kind of a learning experience.
Okay.
And what I learned from him, even with having cancer, is how important it is for your health and your eating, especially when you're sick. Because when he would take care of himself and he would eat according to the plan, I saw how his health would flourish. And then when he wouldn't, and part of it just had to do with just being too sick to kind of handle, you know, that schedule, I saw how his health diminished. And so for me, it was like an urgency to kind of get it out to like especially in our community, how we have to eat and the importance of exercise so that we're just healthier. So the fail was kind of more like an eye opener.
Okay.
And it was like an urgency for me to kind of get this message out. And that's why when you had invited me to come on, like without hesitation, I was like, I'm going to make sure that this works so that people can, you know, knowledge is power. And if people can hear someone and see someone that has done it. I used to be 215 pounds at 5'3" is my height.
I saw the pictures. I saw the pictures. It's unbelievable, but I saw them.
So if I can do it and throughout the time, it's a lifestyle, and I changed my lifestyle and throughout time, be able to like look better as time goes on and develop my body and fill my body out, that I'm no better than anyone else. I just decided to do it. You understand? And so now what I do is I'm deciding to teach it. So I would say over my fail is kind of like my eye opener on the importance of this, and kind of not like keeping myself in a box. So that I have to go out more. I have to, because I can do that. I can kind of, you know, I like being home. You know, I like kind of being, you know,
I do too.
I like being isolated. I like being to myself. I like my clientele base that is really exclusive, but it's like, no, I have to get out into the community more. I can't just be exclusive to this elite group of people. I have to get my voice out there and let our community know that you can do this. And then these are the steps. So that's for 2020. So 2021, the question was,
what are your goals, expectations? What do you have for your business that you're looking forward to doing in 2021?
I'm excited about 2021 because we're really starting to grow the company. We're going to grow the company to a more of a global base, not just in the United States.
Nice.
I'm developing my app literally as we speak, and it'll be done in like 7 different languages, so that people all over the world will be able to download it and participate. By the end of the year, I'd like to actually hire more staff, so that I train them according to my style. I would really like people that have a story similar of mine as to have experience being overweight or unhealthy, and then you know, so that you can kind of, it's easier to speak to someone and kind of let them know, I know what you're going through, I know what you feel like, and you can be a little bit more direct with them.
Right.
Because I can say to some women, okay, you know, I'm about improving yourself, right? I want you to feel confident where you are right now, but I don't want you to feel comfortable where you are now. I want you to have a goal because I know what it's like to go from here to here. And I want you to be able to experience that as well. When you've gone through it, it's something about it versus I've been skinny all my life, or I've been fit all my life.
Right.
It's looked at differently. It's looked at
exactly.
You have no idea what I'm going through, and your goal isn't, I can't attain that because you've always been like this. You were basically born with these genes where I could become a fatty real quick, y'all. I have a thyroid condition, like work that I put into it to be able to look the way that I do. So the goal is to expand globally, launch the app, and be able to bring on more staff and do more retreats. Like when the world opens up, I'm in Croatia, we're there. Like I want to do it in Iceland, Croatia again, and Thailand.
Mhm.
And then I want to do more retreats, hardcore retreats within the United States. There's some great spots in Utah that I've been researching and looking into. We do the Poconos often already, but looking to expand in that way.
That's great. And just to touch upon when you talked about networking and working with other women and getting referrals, like I said, I met you through a friend, and initially you and I were working out, and then it came a time that my mom had early onset Alzheimer's, and you started to work out with her to help keep her motivated, but also to keep her body going, because sometimes when you have brain diseases and illnesses, you slow down, you stop moving, you stop doing all of these things. And I have to say, Lacole, there have been so many people in my life that have helped me with my mom. You and your daughter Chloe was what, 2 or 3 years old?
Mm-hmm.
And she would work out with my mom. They would come to the house, and they would move the stuff out the way in the basement, and they would just work out on a regular and just hang out. And I am so appreciative to you for that time that you were able to give, because a lot of people wouldn't have been able to do that. What personal trainer would do that? Would set aside to say, oh, I'm working with this client who may not necessarily have all of their brain functions, but still be able to help them to keep them on their way. I appreciate that.
And I tell you, it was an honor. It was an honor to do that. That time with your mother was so special. And the reason why I would bring Chloe, most trainers can't bring their kids with them,
right?
But your mother and Chloe had a special connection. And she loved seeing Chloe. In the beginning, they would talk, because even though Chloe was either 2 or 3, her vocabulary was really advanced. Like, she could talk like 12. So, and it was good for your mom to kind of have her little time with Chloe in the beginning. They would take like 10 minutes and talk and catch up. And then she would send Chloe to go play with the toys. And she would love to, while she was working out, watch Chloe play, because it reminded her, she said, of her granddaughter. Is what she would say, playing some of those toys, I believe, that were yours and your daughter's. And it would distract, because I worked your mom out. Like, she wasn't,
I know.
We weren't playing cake. We had the bow through, we had the 5-pound weights, but it was kind of a distraction from the pain of exercise. Being able to kind of watch Chloe over there in the corner. But what brain function and exercise, or healthy brain function and exercise, really go hand in hand. And a lot of people don't know that or understand it. And that's kind of how you can have, like your brain activity start to lessen. You're not the only client that I had. I had another client with brain injury. And the doctors were so amazed at how her brain function has started to increase. I don't take it lightly. Like, when people, first of all, someone invited me into your home, like before the pandemic, I would do in-home training. And that by itself, just being invited into someone's home, is an honor. But to be able to work with your parent and to entrust me with that is an even higher honor that I don't take lightly. And when I tell you that time was extremely special to me and an honor for me, it really was. And I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. I definitely thank you. So tell people how they can find you. Tell them about the class in the last couple of minutes, where they find you, what to expect, and all of your information, because I put it in the feed, but I want them to hear it from you again.
Okay. And so the class starts January 4th. Right now, we're in the morning at 7:30 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the easiest way would be to email me, fitnesscompulsion@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram. If you Google me, everything comes up. Lacole Broadus, Lacole, Broadus, capital, B as in boy, Broadus. If you Google me, then my Instagrams will come up. And my website will come up. But if you just have a direct question and want to get in touch with me after this, fitnesscompulsion @gmail.com.
Thank you. And you have a great happy new year. I know you got a lot of stuff on your agenda that you want to do. And I'm looking forward to the class on the 4th. You said that's Monday?
That's Monday. You got 2 days.
Get my mind right. get my mind right. So I appreciate you. Everybody, look for Lacole Broadus on IG, on Facebook, Fitness Compulsion. You can find her, Google her name. She's out there. She got a hot body. Trust me. Once you see her from head to toe, you can be like, oh, I'm joining that class. I want some of that. So have a great day, Lacole. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to It's a Sure Thing, sponsored by DLM Insurance, with your host, Diane Murray-Clements. Join us again when we take a look at the role insurance plays in today's hot topics, right here on It's a Sure Thing. Subscribe and follow us on YouTube and Instagram.